All right, this time we're going to tackle the white circle of death that you may be seeing on your videos, something like this. This is an indication that your internet is either too slow or the device you're on is too slow to process the information for you in a timely fashion. So let me show you how you can fix this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to stop this foolishness. What you'd want to do is you're going to go to speedtest.net. Speedtest.net. After it loads up, you're going to press the go button. And you're going to see what speed you are getting. Ideally, there's a certain speed that you want. And it used to be on one of my pages somewhere. Just made that disappear for a second. Sorry. Okay, you can see it's about a 7 meg download. That is not really high enough. It's not as high as you want. Okay? Upload's real good for what you need. Upload only has to be like 3 or 4. It doesn't matter on it as much. All right, so that is too slow. Now, if we go over, this is a way I can turn this down. Now let's go over to my normal internet connection and run the same test. And you will see it's significantly higher. We're up over 600 megabytes per second. Well, more than enough to do what we need to do. More than enough. As soon as this is done here, I'm going to get the stats. I'm going to take a look at what they are, what the requirements are. And then I'm going to tell you a way to fix the problem if you have a fast enough internet speed to at least do it. So hang on 1 second, and we'll come right back. Okay. To view the lessons, the minimum requirement to help you with the buffering issues is for the 1080p, they're saying 7 megabytes per second. I say it has to be at least double whatever they're saying, because you have to account for anybody else that may be using the internet, etc. There's a lot of other overhead. So they're saying 7. In reality, it needs to be 15. 720, they're saying 3. Again, 6 should do it. So we may get 720 on this. 540 would be like 2 megabytes or 4 megabytes is what's needed. And then the 360 would be 2 megabytes is what's needed. So let's go back to the tomatoes. Bring up our lesson. Typically what it does when it first starts off is during this session right here is determining what speed it can successfully play at, and it automatically is adjusting it. If you come down here to the gear, lower right hand corner, the little gear here, you click on it, and it says it's doing 540. And it's 7, and see it just drops to 360. So it's automatically adjusting. If you find your computer can't adjust it fast enough, what you're looking for over here on the player, you see you have the blue, and then in front of it is a little bit of gray. I'll try to zoom in on that to show you that. But you have the blue and the gray. The gray's the buffer. As long as the blue doesn't catch the gray, you can keep playing at that speed. To be safe, instead of having it do an auto where something may interrupt it, you can successfully set it to 540. It'll restart back up. Give it a second to spool ahead. And you can just watch this as long as it's staying ahead. Now see, this is really close. Because the first time I ran this test, it was only down at 3 megabits. Instead of the 7 that it got this time. So your internet speeds fluctuates depending upon where you're going and what hops and, that's all the technical stuff. That's why I say minimum twice what's recommended, 3 times would be better. This again, we're playing it at what, 540 right now? We're playing it at 540. It seems to be staying up, and the quality is plenty good. You can certainly tell what's going on. Even at the 360, let's take it down to 360. The buffer, you should see more gray. I mean, here we had hardly any gray. Now see, we're getting a little bit of gray ahead. And that's reasonable. It's soft, but it's reasonable. You can at least see what she's doing. See how much gray you have ahead now? Look how much further ahead that is. So that lets you know that you really need to be in the 360 540 on this particular internet connection. Again, if you try to play it at the 1080p, which it said it can do, you will find it cannot do it. It will start it up and it'll stutter, and you'll get the little circle of death there, the little white circle of death. It may eventually catch up, but this is no way to watch a lesson. I assure you of that. So again, the little gear, right corner, slow it down to a speed that's acceptable to you. What can you play successfully? All right, let's stop this one here. We'll go back to the other screen. Tomatoes. Same video. We're doing episode 2. Start it up. And see how the buffer's far ahead. And this would be playing at the 1080, the full resolution. But this has got, almost 700 megabits behind it, 634. So there was no reason for it not to be able to keep up. So internet speed is key. You got to go to speedtest.net, see what your numbers really are. If they're not at least 15 to 20 megabits, you cannot do the high resolution. Don't even try it. You might get away with the 720, the closer you get to 10, but again, you know how to adjust it now. Little gear, lower right hand corner, make that adjustment. Don't count on auto. You saw it when we first started it bounced between 540 and dropped to 360 because the internet speeds changed. Now let's stop that there. Let's go back here, and if we rerun this test, we had 7.5. Let's see what we get this time. And you can do it at different times during the day. If you always are painting a certain time of the day, that's when you want to test it. Or when you're experiencing a problem, hop on speedtest.net real quick and see what you're getting. See, we're already down a little bit lower than we were. It changes. It's a living, breathing entity. Not quite. Okay, so it peaked up there, but it took it almost to the end of the run to get there. What you saw was mainly down at 5. See, that's what you got to look at. Where's it mainly hanging around? Not this peak at the very end. Where's it hanging around? Because that's the speed you've really got. All right. Hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions or comments, do put them down below, and we'll do our best to address them. Thank you.